Hello everyone, this is Yeshua said my name with another prophetic piece to the puzzle, I like to call it. I wanted to go over a couple of topics concerning the papacy, and hopefully this will be an informative / refresher for those of us who already are aware of the situation with the papacy, and that most of us believe that, at least watch this channel, that the papacy is Antichrist, and that the harlot of Revelation 17 is the Vatican. But some of this information will be, I believe, informative, maybe for the first time, for those who happen to come across my video here, exposing more of the papacy being blasphemous. I've done other videos exposing the blasphemous claims of the papacy, and that they claim to be God on earth, and I'm going to do a video on that very soon. I did a video about the papacy claiming to be God several months ago, but I would like to do an updated video on that for maybe newcomers that are just tuning into my YouTube channel. I wanted to go over some very obvious things that the Lord brought to my mind, or made obvious to me, concerning the Pope. We know that world leaders come to the Vatican. In Revelation, it says that the kings of the earth committed fornication with the harlot that sits on 7 hills. Most of the earth's leaders and rulers go to the Vatican first, and I believe this shows submission to the Pope of Rome. You very rarely, yes, the Pope will visit world leaders, but usually that world leader goes to the Pope first, and then the Pope will then go and visit other world leaders. But usually the world leaders will go to him first. And of course, we know that the harlot of Revelation 17 is in bed with the kings of the earth, and this is where the fornication is taking place. And the kings of the earth are then drunk with the wine of her fornication. They are overcome with awe and marveling at the beast. So when the world leaders of the people come to visit the Vatican, they come dressed in black usually. And I wanted to bring this to your attention if you weren't aware of it, or if you're new to this. The Pope wears all white. It's almost comical, actually. He's dressed in all white, whether he's wearing I've seen him wearing a business suit in all white, as well as his typical outfit. And I have a picture here of Pope John Paul in his older years with Queen Elizabeth, wearing his usual white garb here. And my black ink didn't turn out very well on my printer today. I have to go out and get some more black ink. But I wanted to show you the contrast, that whenever the Pope is around others, whether it's visiting dignitaries or he's visiting someone, women wear all black with their heads covered, and men wear all black, usually, to show submission. But we also know this is also a Freemasonic symbol of the contrast of dark and light, black and white, good and evil, that the Masons are very big on this. But I also the Lord brought something to my attention, that the Pope wears all white when he's in the presence of other people to show his outward appearance of godliness. Now, when Jesus spoke to the ruling elite of his day that were in the synagogues and the temples, or in the temple, he often said, "You love men to greet you in the marketplaces, and you walk around in flowing robes, being greeted as rabbi." He says, "To men on the outside you appear as godly, but inwardly you are dead man's bones." This man, the Pope, walks around in flowing white robes. And when he visits people, or they visit him, and everyone else is dressed in black, it's literally to make himself stand out. This white garb that he wears makes him look like he's holy and stands out in contrast to everyone else who's visiting him. Remember, the Vicar of Christ claims to be Christ on earth in the flesh, and you can confirm this through much of the Vatican I and Vatican II's information that they have in their catechisms, and even in the old writings from the previous popes. But I wanted to show you some pictures of world leaders visiting the Pope, all dressed in black, and while he walks around in white. There again, here's Queen Elizabeth, and my black ink didn't turn out well, but he's dressed in white to make himself look like the lamb, the spotless lamb. Everyone else is wearing black. Let me show you some more recent photos. I think this is that Father Bartholomew that Pope Francis met with. I think it's at the Western Wall, but he's dressed in black, and Pope Francis is all in white. Notice that, he has two horns like a lamb. Jesus says that false prophets will come to you in sheep's clothing, and a sheep is white. And he's supposed to be representing Jesus, all dressed in white. And everyone else that is beneath him or showing submission must wear black. Here's some other pictures. I believe this is Turkey's president and his wife, and she has her head covered up here. You can see this. Like I said, I'm sorry that my black ink didn't turn out. But he's all in white. Everyone he's visiting with leaders of this world, they're all dressed in black, so he can stand out as the pure lamb. And of course, I'm going to get into some Pope worship too. When you kneel before the Pope and kiss his ring, to me that's an act of worship, and I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But here we have Francis meeting with evangelical leaders like Kenneth Copeland and many others, and everyone else that's meeting with him is dressed in black. And of course we have Pope Francis with Bartholomew here again on the bottom, but here he is meeting with these evangelical leaders, and they're all dressed in dark colors. They're all dressed in black, and usually the women have their heads covered as a sign of respect or submission. And here's the Pope again with another, I believe it's Orthodox Church leader Bartholomew dressed in black. But I also wanted to go over papal worship. We all remember the story of Joseph, when Joseph was brought by Potiphar to stand before Pharaoh. And Potiphar said to Joseph, even if you've seen the movie or not, it's a very good movie. I recommend you watch it. Potiphar urged Joseph to kneel before Pharaoh. He says, you're in the presence of Pharaoh, you need to kneel. Well, the Pharaohs believed that they were God on earth, and expressed that quite often. So when you stood in the court of the Pharaoh, you were to bow or kneel before him in worship. Well, this is what is going on with the papacy. People bow and kneel before the Pope. They kiss his ring, showing worship and submission. Joseph's answer to Potiphar and to Pharaoh face to face was, I kneel before no one but the Lord my God. Notice that kneeling before someone is an act of worship and an act of submission. And we are to worship the Lord our God only. It is written, worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. So to me, in my opinion, to kneel before someone and kiss their ring is an act of worship. Well, we know that the papacy has claimed blasphemous claims of deity on earth. And I'm going to do another video very soon proving this. And like I said, if you want to go over the archives of my older videos, I touch on that quite often. But we know that the book of Daniel prophesies that the man of sin to come will not just simply claim to be a representative of God on earth. He will claim to be God and put himself and exalt himself above everything that is worshipped and everything that is called God. And I believe that the dynasty or the succession of the papal reign over generations has been a preparation for this final man of sin to be revealed in this last time. But I wanted to show you a couple of pictures of this one up top is Pope John Paul, and this one down below is Benedict. And like I said, I'm sorry, my ink didn't come out too well. Let's look at the first one. This man is kneeling in this affectionate kissing of Pope John Paul's hand, and just affectionately looks like worship, bowing before him. And this man here bowing before Benedict and bowing his head and kissing his hand. This is papal worship, in my opinion. We are to bow before no one but the Lord our God. Remember, Joseph was told by Potiphar to bow before Pharaoh. And he said, I bow before no one except the Lord my God, or I kneel before no one except the Lord my God, even on pain of death, Joseph said. Satan spoke to the Lord in the wilderness and said, if you will kneel before me and worship me as God, then I will give you all the kingdoms of the earth. So the thing is that we are to bow before no one and kneel before no one except the Lord our God. And Satan tried to tempt Jesus to do the same thing. Kneeling and kissing of someone's hand is worship. But I also wanted to bring about, if you notice, whenever the Pope is getting together with anybody, world leaders, he is always dressed in white, almost always, and everyone else around him is dressed in black, to show how holy the Pope is and that he is literally Christ's representative on earth. And of course, now he's coming out and claiming that he is Christ in the flesh. And if you doubt this, you can go over many, many papal documents and writings from catechisms and Catholic writings over the years concerning the papacy, and I will confirm that to you soon. But he's always dressed in white. He looks like a lamb on the outside, but speaks the words of the dragon.